Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to review Bambu Lab A1mini. I bought this printer back in November with AMS Lite. The MSRP for the combo is $459. After tax and shipping, it'll be around $500. So, why would you pay this amount of money for something that is tiny, that only has 180mm build plate size? By the way, they have started selling the A1mini by itself with $299. As many people want the build plate size bigger, you see printers like this one and this one. Why would you pay this amount of money for this tiny printer? I'll give you the answer first. It is cheapest multi-color printer currently on the market. Yeah, with around $500, you can get up to 4-color printing capability from this printer. Well, there are 2 slots on the printer that you can connect the AMS Lite cable. They were not able to adopt more AMS Lite to the one printer. Since we already talked about AMS Lite, let's cover it first. AMS Lite is a very similar design with AMS. At the same time, it is very different from some point of view. First, the filament feeding system gear and motor looks like very similar to original AMS. The push insert filament is identical. AMS Lite also have individual motor attached to the gear set to feed a filament to the extruder. The extruder also have a filament cutter to achieve automatic filament swap during the printing. Generally speaking, AMS Lite come with the most of the feature from original AMS, like reading Bambulab filament information, filament backup functions, and others. But we can see AMS Lite is no longer enclosed displays. Your filaments are directly exposed to moisture. The filament do not merge into the PTFE tube and send into the extruder. Instead, on A1mini, all the 4 tubes are all the way from the front end of the motor to the top of the filament hub. So, compared to original AMS, the filament retraction distance have significantly reduced. It also means that it will not have the issue where the filament jamming on the AMX box. There's no filament weight lifting issue compared to AMS. There are 3 Hall effect sensors in the filament hub area. It could detect if a filament is jamming or filament is running out. It could also detect if a filament is successfully cutting by a blade on the extruder. Because of the filament runout sensor is so close to the extruder, your filament will be almost print every last bit of it. So it is a simpler and more effective system overall, but at the same time, it is downgraded due to lack of enclosure. During my test, I only have a filament jamming one time, that is due to the filament snap on the front end of the system. Some of the silk PLA is extremely sensitive to moisture. Other filament that I have attached on the AMS Lite doesn't have this problem. So just for your reference, if you live in a humid area, there might be a problem. Now back to the A1mini itself. Bambu Lab have put a lot of new technology into this printer. It is more like a design verification machine. What I mean design verification, it's not a bad meaning. It is more like a testing new features and implementing it on the next generation XOP series. By the time they'll have more mature and stable features on more expensive machines. I think the most obvious difference compared to other entry-level best slinger is the overall appearances. It looks like a bit of a futuristic style with the AMS Lite, but it is also looks like something from the 90s. It would be great to put next to the toaster, I think. They did not use a standard 1412 T-slot aluminum to build a full gantry. Since it is only have a one-sided gantry, how to deal with a backlash due to extruder weight and high-speed moving momentum is very important. The entire machine is covered with injection molding polymer and with an aluminum body frame to provide overall structural rigidity and stability. The motion system is not wheel on T-slot. That's good. They use 12mm linear rail setup on the x-axis and 15mm linear rail on the z-axis. The block is also longer than the standard block size. Due to there's no other side of the gantry, the linear rail is a bit bigger size to provide better stability. The gantry adapter here also looks like CNC aluminum to provide enough rigidity and at the same time to be lightweight. For the y-axis, they use a metal guide rail with the 4 wheels, so it does not wear out quickly like normal polymer wheels does. But you have to do the regular maintenance to keep it in good condition. They are claiming that A1mini max acceleration is is a 10,000mm per second square, and max speed of a tool head is 500mm per second. Pay attention here, max tool head speed, not max moving speed. It is a Cartesian coordinating system printer, so moving speed on a y-axis is determined by the printer bed, not a tool head. We are going to run some tests on the printing side to see the speed potential. Overall, the motion system setup is very solid. If you're new to 3D printing, the linear rail setup does not necessary to provide better precision printing result compared to T-slot and wheel. But it is a better motion system for high-speed printing, and it is a lot more expensive. The extruder is also covered with injection molding plastic. It is direct strike extruder setup with a hot end quick swap feature. The hot end, just like a P or X series, nozzle is combined with a heatsink as one piece. When I mean quick swap, you can replace a hot end just in few seconds. Pop out the front cover, unlock a lever here, and put the hot end down. It is a really brilliant design. I have never seen anything like this before, but I'm also concerned about what filament leaking issue due to the pressure. Well, it looks pretty clean on my A1mini after over 50 prints. We'll see how it lasts in the long term. The hot end max temperature is 300 Celsius degrees, and 80 Celsius degrees max temperature for the build plate. A1mini comes with a textured PEI build plate. It is stick filament really well, but it's just too small. Compare the build plate from P1S. The build plate surface area is only 66% compared to traditional 220mm build size, and 51% surface area compared to a P1S. At the same time, the build volume is only 37% compared to a P1S. Bambulab also put a different bed leveling feature on the extruded assembly. On A1mini, there are no pressure sensor on the build plate to achieve auto bed leveling feature. Instead, the nozzle touches a build plate to sense the pressure and calculate a bed mesh. It will also calculate z-axis relative height to the build plate, so there's no manual z-offset input needed. It is achieved by an added current sensor to measure the pressure from the nozzle. It also works as a sensor for the active flow compensation. I have never heard this sensor before, so I do a quick search. It basically utilizes electrical magnesium field to detect the displacement and distance change. The A1mini also has self-functional tests when you're first running it. It will do the resonation compensation, also calibrate the active motor noise cancellation feature. Here you can see the sound comparison. It is also come with one camera over here, a little bit of a weird angle though. On A1mini, the human-machine interface is by this very tiny touch screen. The screen has good resolution, but it has a bit of slow refresh rate and a bit of slow responding. The feature layout is very straightforward, but still not very friendly for big fingers. The noise level is around 60 decibels during high-speed printing, with the part cooling fan fully turned on. Around 53 decibels and 3 feet away. The electricity consumption during idle, heating, and printing. Let's run the first layer test and see how well the added current sensor works. The first layer looks good. There are some high spots around the bottom edge area and the top edge area. Nothing major. Let's run the calibration cube next. All the layer finish looks good. Some minor inconsistencies around this area. The top layer finish looks a bit weird. It actually feels does not stick out a lot. I think it might be affected by the active flow rate compensation. The dimension accuracy on x-axis and y-axis is good, but not well on the z-axis. There are 3 Benchy files on an SD card. Let's run a 17-minute one. It looks okay overall. There is some ringing over this surface. It is on the y-axis direction. Same ringing defect on the other side. Coating on overhang on the side looks good, but not good on the back. Also, some layer defect around a small primary area are all the way across. There are some under extrusion over detail area. The top surface is not good too. I have sliced my own Benchy from Bambu Lab Studio Slicer with all the default setting. Printing quality is significantly better than the fast-speed one. Compared to the one from P1S with exactly the same filament. I am wondering how well the y-axis and a single arm on z-axis are going to hold up during the high-speed printing. I placed 2 z-wobble test models across the opposite side of the build plate. This is more like a stress test for the best slinger, with a strong light pointing to it, and observe from a 45-degree angle. You can see the x-axis side looks good. Rotate to the inner y-axis side. There are significantly more uneven layer finish all over the place. There is also one weird line from top to bottom. It is not the thin line. Rotate to the other side of the y-axis. You can see a lot more uneven layers. It is not all the way across the entire layers, so it is not something related to the z-axis. It's more like something inconsistent motion on the y-axis. Let's check out the one on the back corner. It looks very similar result. X-axis looks good, and the y-axis does not look good. I placed another z-wobble test model on the center, and this time I'm going to put a mark on a different speed setting. I quickly noticed there are orange skin kind of effect over the place. This filament is actually the same filament for the fast-speed Benchy. It doesn't make sense to me. I actually found some other people have mentioned similar happened to their A1mini while they printing the matte finish PLA. When we rotate to the y-axis, as you can see, we have an uneven layer finish as the speed increased. The uneven layer is randomly distributed with a higher frequency at a higher speed. It is also have a higher frequency on a higher position. With the last z-wobble test, we can very much conclude that the shortcoming for the best slinger is happening on the A1mini during high-speed printing. Even though the y-axis weight on the A1mini is relatively small, when you're accelerating to a high speed, it is still create a lot of momentum and a lot of vibration during a deceleration. I want to continue run some actual non-testing model next. This bamboo sword almost reached max height for the build plate. At the same time, it is retractable toys that have a very tight tolerance design. Yeah, I designed it, so here's the tolerancing at design, and this is how it looks like at actual printing. I have to say, it is very nice to see it complete the print, because I have encountered a few failed prints on other best slinger a couple of times with the only 70mm per second printing speed. And the A1 is running way more faster than 70mm per second. Okay, it is nice to see the retraction part come out by itself. You can see the layer finish is really good. There are 2 lines on the bottom are due to the infill difference and caused by the cooling. All the retracting part come out successfully. And easy to return. Great print result, love it. I am getting enough with the poop over my table. Let's make one container for all the poops. I designed this pooper, pooper. In order to feed the build plate, I have to make a two-part. You can see the filament color has some difference. I was using 3 different spools of leftover filament from a P1S. It is good that A1mini will almost print all the filament from the spool, and I can replace other one in exactly spot and continue the print. This low poly thinker, or pooper if you like to call it, has a lot of basic geometry and very sharp turning edge. You can see a lot of a ringing issue all over the place. It is not horrible, but it is not good too. Those two sides have a lot of ringing are from y-axis. Let's move on to a PETG filament now. I set a color change on the top. You can see this color jacket looks decent. All the layer finish, small parameter, and detail finish look good. Overhang looks good too. I continue to use PETG to print a succulent pot. It looks very good overall. Let's take a closer look. All the layer line looks clean and consistent. Very minor ghosting issue around the edges. I want to see how well it could handle ABS without the enclosure, and at the same time, the maximum bed temperature is only 80 Celsius degrees. By the way, my room temperature is around 65 Fahrenheit, so it's around 18 Celsius degrees. I started with a no-brain for this print due to the very small contact area on the build plate. I went back to the slicer and added a brim and set a gap to 0mm. It turned out great this time. Let's check it out. All the layer finish looks awesome. This is almost a perfect print beside ugly brim and some overhang issue due to little part cooling fan for ABS. I continue to replace the nozzle to 0.2mm. I want to see how well the detail finish it could achieve. I also have changed the size setting to 0.2 nozzle and a 0.1mm for the layer height. This little model has only 30mm height, but it takes almost 9 hours and 30 minutes to finish. You can see all the layer finish are really good, and it looks cute. Final thoughts of A1mini. During the past few weeks of testing, I have done many more prints behind the scenes with this printer. I like just how quiet this little thing is. I'm finally able to work on my computer without hearing loud noise from the printers. I think this is the point I like this printer the most. It prints relatively fast. I mean, it is a fast printer. At the same time, the print quality is still good. Those new technology and features Bambu Lab threw on the A1mini works great. By the time this video was released, X1 already have the active noise reduction features adopted on the new firmware update. I think they have getting enough feedback and testing from A1mini. I believe some of the features like quick hotend swap will carry on their new Core XY machine. Well, back to the A1mini itself, I would like to talk about some of the pros first. Number 1, it is a very quiet printer. I can sit in the same room with it running for 24/7 without feeling headache. Well, you see, I never done any final thought while printer is printing, so you can see how quiet it is. The noise mainly comes from the part cooling fan and some of the linear moving sound. There is no high pitch or any rattling sound from the printer itself. My ear could very well filter out those fan noise. It's just how the sensor adoption works. Number 2. It is very easy to use. You get one almost fully assembled machine out of box. There is a minimal step you need to perform before starting first print. I'm doing things a little bit slow. It takes me around 45 minutes to get everything set up, including MS Lite, cleaning and root the motion system. If you are someone with more confidence, you may be able to get it down to 30 minutes. After you power the printer on, you'll prefer self-testing for almost everything. There is no manual bed leveling needed. You just need to put filament in and spend some time to learn how to use a Bambu Lab stereo slicer. Number 3. The user experience is good. I was told my wife that this printer is for you to print some colorful Pokemon, which just few click on the mobile app, just trying to get her permission to buying it. She has learned how to use the mobile app and print already, so she likes it. I have almost 43 printers sitting in my room collecting dust when I was busy, but she never has any interest in to mess up with any of them, just because how learning curve goes for the 3D printing. But Bambulab ecosystem definitely make 3D printing a lot more beginner friendly. It's great for people like her. Number 4. The multi-color printing capability. I think I like the AMS Lite more than the original AMS. Besides, there's no enclosure for the filament. They have fixed a lot of issues from the original AMS, like filament jamming, filament spool lifting, and filament spool comparability issues. Leave aside, it's currently the cheapest multicolor printer on the market. The level of multicolor usability is one of the best. Number 5. The printing speed is good. It is both fast and have a good printing quality by using the default setting for a slicer. For some small parameter and small models, it returns a very similar printing time from my P1S. The motion system is very solid, equipped with a linear rail and full metal rails with the wheels. There is a less tear and wear issue compared to POM wheels. With the properly maintenance, the motion system could last very long. Number 6. The quick swap hotend is a very nice feature. It could help you adopt different nozzle sizes easily. You can use 0.2mm nozzle to get very detailed multicolored Pokemon. At the same time, it won't bother you to run 24/7 because it's relatively quiet. If you want to print some container, you can swap to 0.6 or 0.8mm size nozzle and get a print done faster. If you're printing a vice model, you can get a lot more solid finish wall. Now let's jump into the cons. Number 1, the usability is the biggest issue. What I mean by usability is a printer bed size. 180mm is not extremely small, but it is relatively smaller than what most popular machine out there. You can get most of a model printing without any issue, but the smaller bed size means less of a model you can fit on a one plate. More importantly, if you are trying to print something big, it just won't work. You can try to scale down the model size and get a print, but there are some models with a design tight tolerancing, it just won't work with the scale down. Also, since the 220mm build plate size is the most popular out there for many years, there are a lot of models designed to fit in that size. You will lose a lot of usability by the small size build value. Number 2, there is a limited ability to print filament like ABS and some other exotic filament. You could print some ABS with no issue and it will still return you good printing quality. But without enclosure and the max temperature for the bed is only around 80 Celsius, it's going to be the weak point for this printer. I wouldn't recommend to buying this one if you are printing a lot of ABS or ASA. At the same time, printer extruder is very highly integrated. If you are printing some exotic filament that will produce a lot of debris, it will be a pain to clean. An extruder gear will have a very short lifespan. Number 3, the A1mini although is a very small printer, but if you have an AMS Lite come with it, the actual footprint is very big. It will probably take more space compared to P1S. Also, the printer itself makes a lot of vibration during printing. If your table or rack is not stable enough like mine, you'll see stuff moving around the place after one print. Number 4, the AMS Lite does not have an enclosure. If you're living at a humid area and printing a lot of silk PLA filament, you may encounter a lot of filament snapping or printing quality issue. The spool adapter on the AMS Lite may not be able to fit some of the filament spool if it's too large or too small. Number 5, The touch screen is very little. I don't have a very big fingers, but I have a hard time when I'm trying to put a Wi-Fi password in there. The refresh rate for the screen is a bit low. You can see a bit of lagging over here. But after you getting used to it and get some muscle memory, it will do the job. Number 6. It is a crowdsourced printer. I think it doesn't matter for 90% of the people. But if you are planning to buy a 3D printer, they'll help you learn how it works and learning some trickling and upgrade by yourself. I'm afraid there might be very limited things you can do to the A1mini. But if all you want for your first printer is a few clicks and get a printout, this printer is right for you. You can spend relatively small amount of money and getting one multicolor printer. I wouldn't call it cheap though. It is still quite a lot of money and quite a lot of pressure from wives. If you are somebody who planning to buy this printer as a first printer, and the only printer you're going to buy, I might suggest you go for something bigger. The usability of this printer is not good because of limited printing size. I can almost guarantee you'll be want something larger size in a later day. But if you are someone only looking for print some small stuff and want to get multicolor print, this is the best one from both price and performance perspective. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. You better not make any spaghetti in front of her. Unlike me, she don't have a lot of tolerance for print failure. Now listen to me, be a good boy, and don't poop all over the place, please.